Good evening and welcome to part 2 of The Author Reads from Andromedea. This is my proof copy. Andromedea is part 1 of 2 in an arc. Andromedea is book 1 and Eye of the Gazelle is book 2, which is currently in final edits and should be published very shortly. They were originally one book. So that's why I really want to get both of them out as soon as possible. My name is Marcia Tucker. I am the author of the Perseus series, which currently is in production. Looks to be about 14 books. Most of those are already written, so I have a lot of editing and a lot of work to do. Shout out to my cover designer, Martin of Cover Art Studio. He's out of Ireland. And he's an amazing designer. He's done some incredible work for me, so I look forward to a long relationship with Martin. I'm going to continue reading from the prologue of Andromedea. Voice recognition and the identifying words of her message cut through piles of security algorithms that would otherwise have prevented access to the highest authority in the agency. In 15 years as head of the Perseus Defense Agency, Peter Sentel had learned well to respond to such calls with haste. Meanwhile, other agency heads were being added to the communication line through the Demeter Fifth Eye Piconet. "Priscilla, go ahead," returned the voice of that authority, with only traces of sleepiness. 5 ships of an unknown design disappeared in the ThreadGen system, Priscilla Pliver relayed matter-of-factly. The ED-1 designation would already have told the ComGen how dire her situation was. They have not attempted to identify themselves, though they are clearly heading for the colony planet. The ships are shielded from detection by ordinary means. They have not as yet taken notice of me, though they are unmistakably telepathic. The word chilled the heart of the Commander General, who was a non-telepath. He implicitly trusted his own telepaths, but the thought of telepathic minds of unknown capabilities near a colony was terrifying. Proceed. "These are in no way related to any Mufroi incursions in this region," the Starguard continued. "Therefore, I must assume that this is a new threat. I'm now going to alert the planet leaders telepathically." In the subsequent silence, Priscilla called out to the leaders she had already identified in the colony. "This is Starguard Pliver of the Perseus Guard. Starships of unknown origin are incoming. Be warned that the invaders are telepathic. Their ships are not registering on scanners, but your telepaths can verify. Note that this is an unknown threat perceived to be very dangerous. Prepare all defense systems." She scepted the ensuing chaos, frantic calls being made, planetary defense personnel assembling in the command center, orders being shouted. "It's not going to matter," she thought, her heart sinking. "If these entities are up to no good, the worst may happen. I don't even know if there's anything I can do." To her horror, 2 of the craft broke formation to head directly for the planet. Shit, they're going to land! She felt her own panic rising, but she could not afford to let it affect her duties. Peter Sentel hastily used the pause to check in with FleetCom, which routed him to the Defender-class starship Atlanta, somewhere in the vicinity of Phi-1 He directed its commander to attend to the emergency and assist the Starguard, whose little nebulae Seagull, after all, had no offensive capability. "General Sentel," Priscilla spoke aloud finally, "I fear the colony's defenses are inadequate. The security personnel are reacting too slowly. I'm scepting that they must be waiting for scanner confirmation, which will not be forthcoming. 2 advanced ships of the aliens are beginning a landing approach. I'm going to observe and gather as much information as I can." "Aliens!" came an eruption from a new voice. It had been centuries since the last new sentient species in the stellar neighborhood had been identified, the Vrigians of Vega 10, who were now full members in their federation, the United Star Communities. "That's why it's an ED-1? Priscilla, Sentinel broke in. That was Elzan Macney of the Atlanta. Key's at Phi 1 Peg, so I added her to this call. He should reach your position in... No time, the Starguard interrupted. Her voice was astonishingly steady, though. It was becoming apparent that the situation was growing desperate. They will be on the ground in minutes. Excuse me, General Macney, but you won't get here for a day on warp lock. This looks and smells real bad, General Sentinel. I'm going to try to discover what I can of their offensive systems. Something odd is operating here. Although I've warned the ThrevGems officials, they're responding way too slowly. I'm going to investigate mentally. Stand by. The Comgen had no reply for her. The Star Guards of the Perseus Guard were not bound to accept commands from him. In fact, her call was primarily informational. The need to alert the agency of a new danger. Peter Sentinel was getting a sinking feeling that she may not get out of this one. Priscilla hadn't activated a visual link in the sixth eye, but he knew it at sea. Her face, though framed by a curly cloud of blonde hair, would be dominated by penetrating, almost black eyes, narrowed as she concentrated, not on the swirling display, but on the mental evidence she sifted with the powerful mind behind those eyes. And if she could read her mind, there wouldn't be a single thought about her own personal safety. Priscilla, can you really not just get out of there? He thought, helplessness numbing him. But he knew the guard all too well. His own younger brother, Jamie, was one of those driven beings. The Star Guard extended her mental senses to the foremost of the intruder craft and pulled back hard, mind and emotions reeling from the intensity of the contact. Empaths, she thought in dismay, and sent a warning again to the minimally staffed agency base on the planet. All available telepaths, extend personal shields to maximum extent. It was a desperation ploy. She knew their complement of telepaths was small and likely contained no high telepaths. And she was only one. I'm only a level 6. This is going to be more than I can handle. Damn. But these nasties are obviously up to something horrible. Priscilla straightened in her seat, setting her jaw against the inevitable. She was a Star Guard. But even so, she was human. It took her precious seconds to get her own emotions, what was termed the M-mind, under control. The empathic attack ripped open feelings she thought well managed. The loneliness of space, the heartbreak over a long-healed relationship, pain from the loss of her brother 5 years ago. On top of that, the terrible threat of the distilled device back at Mufred. She fought back. This was no time for wallowing. General, she spoke again coolly into the still open sixth eye connection. Apparently these invaders are also empaths. That explains why there is no resistance. Oh no, he breathed, horrified. Priscilla, you've got to get out of there. Priscilla continued as if she hadn't heard him. Yes, the personnel on the planet have been unable to pick up the incoming ships on their fifth eye, so defensive teams have reacted slowly. Upon the descent of the alien ships into the atmosphere, the visual data has started to come in. As a result, there is some lunar bolt activity, though it seems to have little effect on the intruders. Planetary officials and the local agency commander have made repeated attempts to communicate with them without any response. Only 2 alien ships are landing. The presence of the others in orbit will prevent me from approaching the planet. All defensive activity and communication have now stopped. They have come in unchallenged. I cannot get closer. Up to now, the Star Guard had been able to keep a fierce check on her own emotions, but now her auto M-form control wavered, and the first signs of stress could be heard in her voice. I've been applying auto M-form against them, General, but there's waves of I cannot describe what it is coming from the 2 ships. Emotions like desire, like... Severely, she mustered up more control. The 2 ships which landed at the main starfield are opening their hulls. About 50 personnel from the field station are approaching and are entering the ships. So ends part 2. The Perseus series is available on Amazon. Here we go. Paperback version is Amazon.com/DP/173467280 and the ebook is available Amazon.com/DP/B086FKPQB. Also, please check out my website at perseusseries.net and my Facebook page, Marsha Tucker, author. Until next time.